you ready to do this?
Every former athlete wishes they could go back.
Love the game. It gave me so much.
You know, because we all got hoop dreams.
This is A New Path, a sports podcast, hosted by Peyton Schmitz.
What's going on, everybody? We're back with another edition of the New Path podcast. It's a sports podcast where we talk with former athletes, people working the sports career, and kind of figure out the good, the bad, and the ugly. Today, I'm joined by a sports broadcaster, which, as you guys know, is what I want to go into someday. So hopefully he can give me some tips along the way. But we got from BCSN and a lot of other cool things. We got Pete Seymour coming on today. How you doing, Pete?
Thanks for having me, man. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. You're probably the most high-profile person we've had on so far. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and dive right into it. What is your earliest sports memory? How did you get involved?
Sports have always been such a big part of my life. I mean, since day one, there's pictures of me as a child, you know, holding basketball, baseballs, whatever. Sports has always been a huge part of my life, and I know we're going to get to it, but when my sports career ended, that's originally how I wanted to get into broadcasting. So I know we'll get to that, but yeah. Sports always a huge part of my life, specifically baseball. I've always been a baseball guy. I call baseball now, played baseball, also played soccer in high school, which I still love soccer. That's a harder sport to announce, I'll tell you that. Haven't done that too much, but yeah, baseball and soccer is what I played in high school. Originally from a small town in northwest Pennsylvania called Northeast, and Northeast High School. I always say this on any interview I do. We are the Great Pickers.
Okay.
So if you want to look up the mascot afterwards, we're the Northeast Great Pickers. So yeah, played 4 years of soccer there, 4 years of baseball there, and overall, sports has just always been a huge part of my life, and obviously continues to be.
Yeah, I mean, can you kind of dive into, you know, you talked about baseball and soccer. What positions did you play? Obviously, you're a big baseball guy. You have a lot of experience in that, and just kind of talk through that.
Yeah, so baseball, I played baseball since the moment I could pick up a baseball, if I'm being honest with you. Always been a huge part of my life. Through middle school, through high school, played 2 years of varsity. I was a second baseman, and it was some of the best years. Are you kidding me? Playing high school sports, looking back on it, you know, it's so much fun, and every former athlete wishes they could go back and play, you know, one more game here or there, whether it's baseball, soccer, football, basketball, whatever. But yeah, baseball is my main sport. I was a second baseman. What ended my baseball career was, and everything happens for a reason. I guess I should start by saying that. And you don't realize it at the moment, but everything comes back around and it all happens for a reason. I blew my arm out taking a cutoff from a catcher, throwing back home in between my junior and senior year of high school. So I was a second baseman, played second base my entire life, and pitched here and there too. And then my senior year, I ended up switching to just first because, I had blown my arm out. And at the time, I'm like, man, what am I going to do? I didn't know if I was going to play baseball at the next level. I was a pretty good baseball player. It would have been Division III, Division II, no Division I baseball offers or anything like that. But yeah, so that was kind of a turning point for me where I'm like, hey, I'm young. I don't want to injure myself anymore. I could either go get surgery on my shoulder or I could switch over to first base and then just call it quits after my high school career, which ended up being one of the better things that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, it's funny how injuries work out like that. I can think of a couple times, not just for myself, but, you know, for all the other athletes that have come on. It's like, you know, sometimes injuries happen at the most inopportune time, and you're like, why in the moment? But ends up being the best thing that can happen. What exactly did you do to your arm?
Rotator cuff.
Rotator cuff.
I guess first and foremost, every athlete out there, please stretch.
Yes, stretching.
Please stretch. Yeah, that's easily one of the biggest things, especially as you get older. You start to feel some of those injuries you had in high school. So yeah, stretch your arms, stretch your legs. You don't want to get hurt because at 18 you can still work through it. You know, moving on, it gets a little bit harder.
It gets a little more difficult after that. Oh man, I'm so sorry to hear about that. It's okay. That's rough. I never had anything that bad. I was a catcher.
Gotcha.
So I have some hamstring issues still to this day.
Well, that's a position I never played.
Really?
Hey, so yeah, never played catcher. Saved my knees, saved my hamstrings.
Be thankful. Be thankful because there's a couple times I get down into a squat and I'm like, oh boy, I'm not getting back up. So baseball, obviously, and then you played soccer?
Yeah, played soccer for 4 years. Actually, that's a lie. Played soccer for 3 years. Had an ankle injury. Again, things happen for a reason. Broke my ankle going into my junior year playing soccer. Had that injury, which I actually picked up golf for a year. So
Okay.
yeah, so I had worked
Yeah.
at a golf course. My first ever job was working at a golf course, mowing fairways, mowing greens, all the above. And so because you work there, you got a free membership. So I started golfing at 16 when I worked there, and it just so happened the next summer. Unfortunate accident with my best friend in his backyard.
Oh boy.
Backyard football incident, and so that turned into playing golf for a year. So I still play golf now. I would highly advise anybody out there to pick up golf. You'll use it in life, you'll use it in business, and again, things happen weird, but they all happen for a reason.
Are you good at golf?
I wouldn't say I'm good. Jason Candle's good. I'm all right. In terms of our radio crew here at Toledo, I'm probably 2 or 3.
Okay.
I'll tell you what though, Mark Beyer, if you ever have him in here,
Yeah.
scratch golfer. Guy is great.
Okay.
Guy is great. Just a pendulum
Wow.
up there. But yeah, and again, I've used golf throughout my career working in baseball.
Yeah.
You meet so many people, and again, I would highly advise anybody out there to pick up golf because it's just another way to form connections in this industry, which you obviously know is a big thing.
Obviously, yeah. So high school, playing sports, playing baseball, soccer, a little bit of golf. What was that process? You kind of touched on it earlier a little bit about going into maybe playing in college. How much did you consider that? Was that just kind of a fleeting idea?
Yeah, for baseball, if I would have done anything, it would have been with baseball. Soccer was my second sport. I loved it, absolutely loved it, but soccer was my second sport. But yeah, I would have liked to have gone Division III, maybe Division II, but if I would have done that, I never would have taken the next step, which was going to college out of state and
Right.
even being here. So again, it's just
Yeah.
crazy looking back. I probably would have ended up in a small school around where I'm from, like in Erie, Penn State Barron type of deal, a little
Okay,
smaller
yeah.
branch, instead of going into what I really wanted to do.
Well, hey, you're making the perfect segue here. So then you decided to go to college and not pursue athletics. And so you kind of realized your playing days were done. How was that process like? Was it comfortable with you? Were you a little bit like, man, I can't believe this is happening?
The hardest part about it was trying to find something to fill that time with. Because, in high school, it's you go to school, you come home, go to practice, or you have a game, and you do homework and you go to bed. All of a sudden, when you get to college and you don't have that anymore, it's just being able to direct that energy into something else that you really want to do. And that was the hardest part for me. Yeah, I was sad that I wasn't going to play anymore. Everybody has that dream when they're a kid is being a professional
Yeah.
athlete. Absolutely. So it was sad. It probably took me 6 months into college to get over that, but I got into some intramurals and, that stuff like that really helped me just to stay around the game, including getting into broadcasting.
So getting into broadcasting, you went to that school.
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention. I was going to let you mention that first.
Great job. So Pete went to Bowling Green State University, obviously our arch rivals, but now
hey,
you're
hey.
repping the Toledo,
Yep,
so it all worked out. How did you get into broadcasting there? Were you a part of a college radio station or anything like that?
Yeah, so this is actually, it's a crazy story. And when I tell people this, they kind of look at me like, what in the world? So I have to give my first credit to any kind of broadcasting. When I was a senior in high school, I actually preached a sermon at my church. And
Okay.
Yeah, and I had at that point in my life, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do in college. I know I kind of wanted to stay around sports, so I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And a few people came up after to talk to me, and they're like, hey, if you haven't decided what you're going to do in college, you need to go into broadcasting because you're 17 and that was great. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So the story of how I ended up at Bowling Green was strictly the fact that my mom was getting on me about applying to colleges. And seriously, Bowling Green was one of the first colleges that ever reached out to me in the mail. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go home. I'm going to make my mom happy. I'm going to send something back to Bowling Green.
Okay.
Whatever. And it wasn't until a few weeks later where I'm like, you know what? They have a broadcasting program. And I knew
Yeah.
I didn't want to stay in state. I just wanted to kind of spread my wings and branch
Right.
out. So I knew I didn't want to stay in state. Ended up going to Bowling Green. The student organization there, BGRSO, I wouldn't be here doing this without them and a lot of other people, which we'll get into. But the student organization allows you to get so many reps. You can build an entire Division I reel by the time you're done
Yeah.
with college. And
Yeah.
that's something I know here at Toledo, at Bowling Green, some other schools in the Mid-American Conference. And give credit where it's due. The TCOM department here at Toledo and the professionals that I work with, John Idemiller, Greg Smith, ESPN Plus, they do just a phenomenal job here. And yeah, student run media is such a huge, important part of my background, and I can tell you a lot of former alumni, both from here and from BG, can say the same thing.
Yeah. Shout out the ESPN Plus program here at UT. I've gotten to take part in that class and actually gotten to run graphics for games that Pete's calling.
It's crazy, right?
It's kind of crazy. We've had some fun games in there. I think there were a couple walk-off baseball games you had to call.
Yeah.
A little scrambling in the truck trying to get the graphics down, but it's a really good time. I enjoy it. If you're ever interested in doing communication studies or anything like that, highly check out Toledo. Definitely check out Bowling Green. I'm sure their program's just as good. So now you're in your professional field. How did you get into working with Toledo football, and how did you even get to Toledo in the first place?
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny to look back on. So after 2 years at Bowling Green, I was, again, being from Erie, Pennsylvania, right outside of Erie. The Tigers AA affiliate, the Seawolves, are located there. Yeah. So after my sophomore year at Bowling Green, I went back home and started looking for internships. And again, no kidding, you can't make some of this stuff up. I go to the Seawolves game with my family, and my dad just has a BG polo on.
Right.
And this is complete honesty. And a guy walks up to my dad and he goes, "Hey, did you go there?" And my dad goes, "Actually, no, but my son does." And
right.
He goes, "Well, what for?" And my dad goes, "Well, broadcast journalism." And the guy goes, "Hey, I'm the voice of the Erie Seawolves. I would love for him to come up and make a demo reel for me." And the rest is history. So I went up about 2 or 3 days later and made a demo reel for him. That was frankly not good at all. And he looked at me and he said, "Hey man, I see a lot of potential in you. Would you want to come be my intern for 2 years?" And that led to an internship of traveling up and down the East Coast for 2 years with the Erie Seawolves in minor league baseball at 19 and 20 and 21 years old, which looking back, I was extremely young doing that type of stuff, and I wasn't definitely not ready to do that type of stuff, but I learned a ton. I grew a lot. The connections were just fantastic. He's my old boss, Greg. He's filling in for the Tigers now. Still one of my best friends. He's worked his butt off to get exactly where he is.
Yeah.
So again, just by pure coincidence, I ended up with that internship, and that turned into easily 2 of the best summers of my life. It was just a blast traveling with the Seawolves, and Lance Parrish was our manager, old Tigers all-star catcher, and just the people you meet. Got to see Aaron Judge before he was big.
Yeah.
The amount of old players that I was able to meet, the experience broadcasting, I mean, day in and day out. And guys, if you want a profession in baseball, I'll tell you this: you're there at the beginning of the day at 7:30 in the morning, pulling the tarp off the field if it rains, and you're there until 11, midnight the next night on a homestand, getting your notes done and getting ready for the next day. It is a humbling experience.
Yeah.
You work a lot, but the reward has just been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, the Erie Seawolves, that's no joke. I mean, that's AA baseball. That's still very high tier. Has it ever set in on you that it was like, how did I land this?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it's still crazy to me that all happened the way it did.
Right.
And yeah, like I said, those 2 summers were just a blast. I learned so much and I grew so much. And the one thing in this industry that everybody needs to know is you have to learn how to take criticism. And I can tell this story now. I was probably 20 years old, and they just introduced MILB.com streaming, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
For the first time, people could actually listen and hear, see minor league baseball games. And so, again, I was so young, and had a year or 2 of BG baseball under my belt, if that. Halfway couldn't say my name on air at that point. No, it's great to look back on all these things because you just see how much you've grown from it.
Yeah.
And my boss at the time had like a few people of our full-time staff come in, and they looked at me, and he played them a clip, and they each told me something that I could improve on.
Right.
And you sit there as a 19, 20-year-old, and you're like, wow, they're criticizing me, but there's a point right here. And I remember my boss looking at me and saying, "Hey, you can do 1 or 2 things. You can take this criticism and you can grow from it, or you can go find something else you want to do."
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm here for it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So taking criticism is a huge part of this, because I can promise you find the right people. They're only doing it because they care. And
Yeah.
I mean, as I've grown through this industry, I know I've told you how much importance it is for me and for everybody when you get the opportunity to be able to give back to people and help somebody out. I wouldn't be here doing this without the people that helped me doing everything I did growing up. And fast forward, a month ago, I sat up with Greg in the Tigers booth for Tigers Angels.
Wow.
So it's really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Again, relationships are such a huge part of this business. Good people are such a good part of this business. Find a small circle that you're close to, and put some trust in them and let them help you, because like I said, I wouldn't be here doing this without the people that helped me.
Right. And I think it goes into just sports in general, where it's like you almost want people to give you that feedback, because as soon as they stop, it's like, oh, they no longer care.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. And like I said, keep the circle small, but find some people you trust. Take all the feedback, because I thought I knew everything when I was, in freshman year of
19,
college.
20
and
years
you,
old.
And you don't. And now at 31, you're reflecting, but I learn every single day from different broadcasters. I
Right.
listen to Mark Beyer every single time, whether I'm up in the booth with them doing pregame, whether down the sidelines, whatever. I have taken so many different things from so many different broadcasters, and everybody has a different style, and there's no right or wrong. And that's kind of the beauty of broadcasting is you make it your own when you want to, and you can let your personality shine through.
Yeah.
And you don't get to do that in too many other professions. Math I was never good at. Science I was never good at. The one thing I always thought I was good at, talking.
Yeah. So you mentioned it briefly. You're a part of the Rockets pregame show for football. How'd you get involved with that? And what's been your favorite part of it?
Yeah, so after moving up here, after my internship with the Seawolves, I took a job with BCSN doing on-air talent, a whole bunch of production stuff. That's the other thing I will say. You have the chance to learn the other side of being on camera.
Yeah.
Do it. Learn how to run cameras, learn how to do graphics, learn how to direct. I direct our Sports Nightly show now at BCSN. That's something I never did in college.
Yeah.
Absolutely something I never did in college. But it allows you to understand and see the whole realm of what goes on during a live broadcast. So when you're out there either anchoring or you're on play-by-play, you know what they're doing back in the studio, or what could be going wrong, or why things are happening. So I would highly advise, learn everything you can in every different part of the industry. And like I said earlier, I know at Toledo they have the resources to do that.
Yeah. So the Rocket pregame show for football, how exactly is that? That's not just you who does that? It's you and
Yeah,
who
I was
all
going to
works
say,
with you on that?
back to your question, I started with Toledo actually, and again, crazy how things work out. I was brought on as a spotter. And
Okay, yeah.
It was in 2018 I was brought on as a spotter. And I'm like, you know what, this is something, side gig,
Right.
why not? Let's do it.
Yeah.
They had asked me, I'm like, sure, it's something to be around football again, outside of calling games, experience at the college level, whatever. So yeah, from there, I picked up the engineering and producing duties, and then doing most of the pregame show. So I would do the pregame show and then be up in the booth, handling the engineering and the producing again, things I never had done before.
Right.
So figured it out, learned again from some really smart people how to do some things.
Yeah.
Nothing again I thought I was ever going to do, but it's been great. It's been great. So now I've been with Learfield and UT football for 6-7 years at this point. And
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
I've handled some sideline duties. I've pretty much anything and everything that they've thrown at me, we've figured out how to do. So again, it's been a great learning experience. Our crew is fantastic.
Yeah.
Mark obviously does a great job. Jack Mewhort on color commentary
Right.
does a great job. Mike Robinson does a fantastic job. We all really have a great time together, and I enjoy. Oh my gosh, I'm looking forward to Saturday. Yeah, tough one in Kentucky last week, but looking forward to Western at home, and it's been a blast. But again, such a learning experience, and being able to listen to every broadcast we do back, and learning things you can do better, and taking things from the other people on the call. It's just been great.
Would you say there's what lessons have you learned from playing sports that you've applied to broadcasting?
That's a really good question. Again, back to taking criticism, perseverance, being consistent, I think would be number one. One of the hardest things to do, and again, growing as a broadcaster, is realizing you're going to make mistakes sometimes, and that's just what happens. But I have definitely learned consistency, and when you're playing sports, you want to be at your best every single day, and you have to prep your body to be able to do that during that previous week. When it comes to broadcasting a game, you put in so much prep time that you're ready for the game. It just kind of feels the exact same way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, almost like it just kind of it's muscle memory at that point.
Yeah, muscle memory
just comes out.
Exactly. And again, you can tell if you're thoroughly prepped and if you're not, and it makes a difference. Just like on game day, you prep well during the week, you have a good week of practice, you're going to perform well. But you want to be as consistent as you can every time you get a chance to do it.
Yeah, circling back to your own career in sports, obviously, and obviously your broadcasting career has been such a big part of your life, but we all circle back to that original stage of when we wanted to be a professional athlete. Would you change anything about it?
Not right now, absolutely not. I would absolutely not change anything about it. Trust me, I would love to be able to play baseball again. I got a few summers of playing softball with my dad back in Pennsylvania, just in a pickup league, so that was a blast. But no, I wouldn't change anything about it right now. And if you choose to pursue the broadcasting career, the places that it will take you are just crazy. Like I said, to be sitting, I wouldn't have guessed that I would be sitting here with the Toledo Rockets after graduating from Bowling Green and being from Erie, Pennsylvania in 2025 doing this.
Right.
But I wouldn't change any part about it because you meet so many great people. And again, you just learn so much, and you have to embrace the journey. And as cliche as that sounds, you have to live day to day. You obviously have goals that you want to achieve, but you have to crush every day. And luckily in broadcasting, we usually have a chance to, I don't want to say get a redo, but you have a chance a few times a week to be able to get back on the mic, and if you made a mistake, be able to correct it.
Do you have a favorite sport that you've called?
Oh, baseball is my favorite sport. That
Easy.
Just comes from being, I've
All
done
the
it the most.
and
You're
everything.
around the game so much. You see the ins and outs of it. Easily baseball. And I'll tell you what, baseball is not easy to call on the radio.
It is not.
It is not.
It's
It is
not.
different. It is very much different than any other sport. Football is fast. I love calling football, love calling basketball, but baseball, it's obviously my first love in sport growing up, and then carrying it through with the Seawolves, and now at UT doing baseball on ESPN Plus and BCSN as well. It's easily become my favorite.
Would you, since I got you here, would you have any suggestions for doing a baseball radio broadcast? Is there anything that you found in your time that was specifically helpful to you?
Goes back to prep work. A lot of baseball is telling stories. It's different on TV and radio. But again, find somebody that you can learn from and take their advice on it, and be as prepared as you possibly can be. And that goes with any sport, but baseball specifically. Sit down, know the team, have some backstory with some players. Just put in the work. People are going to notice if you put in the work, and you're going to notice that once you listen to yourself a year later and say, wow, this broadcast from my sophomore year is so much different than this broadcast from my senior year. And I can guarantee you're going to go back and say, wow, I probably prepped a little bit more for this one.
Yeah, I definitely feel like even in the, we actually started at WXCT. We started baseball this past season, and so it was kind of just trying to figure out how exactly to make sure it works. And I have a lot of baseball experience, but I'm trying to find somebody else who can come along with me and do that journey. Do you prefer being by yourself in the booth, or have you always done two-man booths? Have you ever done a three-man?
Not for baseball, I haven't done a three-man. Calling baseball by yourself on the radio, I did a few times back in Erie. I do love having a color commentator. It helps eat up some of that time. But the beauty of baseball on the radio, and throughout the years, that silence proves a ton. In the environment in the stadium and all of that. So I have done baseball by myself before. Do prefer to have a color person with me, just because I know they can provide a ton of more insight. If you have someone who's really good at color, you do the play-by-play, you know the people, you know some stories, but you also give them room to let them work. And it does bring a ton to the broadcast. So doing baseball by yourself, and again, it's a learning experience. Calling 9 hours of minor league baseball at a 16-4 score when you're on hour number 3 of it, you're learning a lot about yourself up there. But you still have to keep going, because there's somebody at home that's listening to their kid at whatever level. They're listening to, and whatever the score is, you have to still bring that exact same energy, because again, it's the people at home that are listening to you. You don't want to disappoint them. And the consistency, just they're listening to hear the consistent voice of their team, and that's what you strive to be.
Right. Would you have any advice for, I'm going to hit you with a two-parter here. Mm-hmm. So we always kind of like to wrap up the end of the show with, do you have any advice for athletes coming to the end of their career, realizing that their time in sports may be up? And since you're you're a broadcaster, I'm also going to hit you with, do you have any advice to up-and-coming broadcasters or maybe people that are kind of interested but on the fence? You can answer the first one first.
Okay, so the first one I would say would be to just find something you love to do. Find something you love to do, and it can still be in sports. Just because you don't make it to the next level doesn't mean everything has to be over. Find something you love to do. Again, give back when you can to the people that have helped you, and just know that it all is going to come to an end eventually. I mean, even the longest NFL careers, they still have to find a career to do after they're completed the NFL. And one of the things I always ask Toledo players is, I obviously know the goal is the NFL, but you're studying something here at the University of Toledo. You're also here to get a degree. Why did you go into this? And it also sparks their mind of, man, this is something I really do enjoy. And so when my life after football is done, my life after sport is done, there's still something there that keeps me around the game. And it's something that, again, it's been a part of most of your life and you just love to do.
Yeah. And second one, do you want me to repeat?
Yeah, no, for broadcasters, I would say stick with it. It's not an easy industry. Stick with it, though. Like I said, I wouldn't have guessed that I would be sitting here doing this right now, but that's part of it. That's the beauty of it. The places where this job has taken me, anywhere from Hartford, Connecticut, spending my 21st birthday in Altoona, Pennsylvania, by myself, but there's something to be learned in every stop of the journey broadcasting, and there's so much to be learned from other people. You don't know it all. Get as many reps as you possibly can. Listen back to yourself. Critique yourself. Again, find a small group that's going to help you get better and know your goals, and just be goal-oriented. Things don't come in the time you want them to come, and that's a part of the industry. But you also have to understand that there's a ton of other people in front of you that have also worked extremely hard to get to where you want to go. And so just believe in yourself, get a ton of reps, especially at the collegiate level, and yeah, it's a blast. I mean, with Toledo football, my bowl games have been the Bahamas, Arizona, Boca, Florida, and Detroit. So I really can't sit here and say that this industry hasn't taken me to some phenomenal places and places I never would have gone without it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I wouldn't mind a trip to the Bahamas.
Not bad, not bad. Highly recommend.
Highly recommend.
Wish we would have picked up the bowl victory that day, but
oh
that's
man,
all right.
yeah. We got the next two, I think, after that.
Yeah.
Do you have social media? Do you have anywhere if anybody wants to follow you?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm most active on Twitter, PDS_14. That's been my Twitter account name, I think, since 8th grade. So I've never changed it. Little following there, but yeah, go ahead, follow me. You'll see a ton of Rocket content. Again, I do our player profile and our assistant coach interview every week. So I talk to a different player from the football team, talk to a different assistant coach, usually have those interviews up. And yeah, be sure to check out the Toledo Rocket Coaches Show Monday at Stubborn Brother Pizza Bar. Catch that on the Varsity app, and of course all of our broadcasts on 1370 WSPD for flagship football and basketball. And then yeah, Coaches Show every Monday, and students would love to see you out at the Coaches Show. I'll throw this out there, pizza on us if we get some tables at the Coaches Show for Stubborn Brother. So hold me to that. Would love to see you guys out there, and again, it's a blast.
Yeah, we'll see what we can make happen. We'll round up the WACT crew and come out for a Coaches Show. Well, Pete, thank you so much for coming on. Stay tuned for the show. Next week we got LT Smith coming on the show. He's the youth sports coordinator for the Toledo Mud Hens. But until next time, everybody have a great rest of your night, and go Rockets.